let's discuss strings. But before we do that, this is the third video in the series of Java Basics of Basics. If this is the first video that you are seeing, go ahead, select the playlist in the description and go back to the beginning to know everything that we are talking about. But if you are where you are meant to be, then let's get straight to it. So the list of primitives that we have left off last time actually do not have any type of data that would allow us to store text. And text is very, very important in programming. So in order to do that in Java, to store any type of text, we would need strings. And strings are actually type of an object. And we can't really use primitives for them. Let's talk a little bit about how to create a string variable. So first things first, as we know, Java is strongly typed, meaning that we first need to specify the type. So in order to do that, we're going to write down string, starting with a capital letter, because this is an object, very important. Let's call it just foo, and put the value I'm a string. So we can create a string basically in the same manner that we would do with a primitive, but we need to put the text that we want to put in there in quotes. And that's basically just it. Now we can just use our string, right? Let's try printing this out. See what pops up if we try to print out our variable foo. And yeah, we've got I'm a string. But since this is an object and this is a class, we can get much more value out of it because we can use methods on this string. And in order to use methods, what we need to do is write down first the name of our string variable, and then after a dot, we get access to a lot of methods here, right? But let's stick to what are the most useful ones. First of all, string is a class, meaning that we cannot use the equals sign to compare to strings. We need to use equals. For example, let's try and print out whether our foo equals another string. Let's just print get test. So that's pretty much the operation. And if I run it, we'll get a very known to us false value because yeah, I'm a string is not equals to test. So very important, we need to use equals method in order to be able to do that. So once again, name of the variable of the class string, a dot, and then name of the method that we want to use. So that's first very useful method. Let's get a second one. Let's check whether our foo is empty. And yeah, it's not empty. It's I'm a string, so it's returning a proper value. That's very nice. Let's also try to get our length. And we're not getting any number. Nothing is written out. That is because we haven't put the value of foo.length into our system out println instruction. Only information that will be put into the system out println will be printed out down here. So let's change that and let's just put it into system out println. A reminder to make it a bit faster to not have to write system out println every time. Just write SOUT, press tab, and you are set. And yeah, let's just then go ahead and check the length of our string. And it's 13. Very nice. Meaning that this is the 0 and this is the 12th sign. Because remember, we are counting from 0. Let's try out what is the character at index of 5. Meaning that what is on the 5th index of our string foo. And what we get is actually a space. I'm unlucky. So let's try number 10. And it's an N. So it's this one. So that's very nice. And then last but not least, from the most useful and most commonly used, because there are quite a bit of them still, and please do play around with it whenever you have time to get to know all the methods which are useful for string and you think that you will be using them. for example, 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, and all manner of strings. Let's try substring, meaning that we will try to get our string and try to get some values out of it. So for example, I want to get everything from the 0th index to the 10th index. And let's see what it's going to give me. I must stri, meaning that we actually just cut the last few letters. And we can manipulate this as we actually see fit. So this is very, very useful to try and cut out some strings, to cut out some information, and to work on the product of it. So yeah, very short but very precise introduction into strings. We are going to be using quite a lot of them. So trust me, you will get accustomed to working with strings in no time. But with that being said, check out the file, and all the information that we talked about is of course here. And then we've got exercises. So first of them is to write out your name as a variable and print out the value and the length of your name. Compare strings lowercase and lowercase are they equal according to Java. Print out the 3rd and 5th character of the word programming, and then use a substring method to get word test from ACT test 1 to 3 and print the word itself. So very similar what we have just covered now. But this is just to get some very, very basic practice in. Trust me, it will get harder as we go on. With that being said, see you on the classes and objects topic.